Hello, my name is Joye B. I am founder and CEO of Joyebells, home of that southern backwoods country deliciousness. And I am also a thriving survivor of an untreated mentally ill mother. My mother suffered from what we now know as bipolar schizophrenia without treatment. And as a result, myself, along with my siblings, suffered from mental and physical abuse. And she was married 3 times, so we also, my sister and I, suffered sexual abuse from one of our 3 stepfathers. We never knew what to expect day to day, violent outbursts, and she could go from being extremely happy to extremely mad, all in just a matter of blinking of an eye. So all of that came so overwhelming that at the age of 14, I ran away from home and I lived in abandoned houses. I ate out of dumpsters. I still went to school every day. And thanks to the YMCA and Miss Tina, who checked to make sure I did my homework every day, I was afforded the opportunity to graduate high school on time and thrive versus being a statistic. I never thought once I was an adult that I would have to deal with or figure out how to cope with mental illness again. And just in my mind, it was just my mom. It never crossed my mind that it could be hereditary. People are always asking, what's wrong with Billy? Nothing's wrong with Billy. Billy just needs a little support. Probably from something that was passed down generationally or, from another family member. And I didn't realize this until my son entered his freshman year at ODU. And he was doing fine, and then we noticed a little bit of a change. He wasn't reaching out, he wasn't reaching back, wasn't answering phone calls. And we started getting a call from his dean or the person who takes care of the dorm rooms, and they were like, you need to come check on your son. And once we got there, we found he had had a mental break during his freshman year of college. And I didn't know what to do, didn't know what to think. We took him straight away to Richmond Behavioral Health Authority, which I found is part of Be Well, Virginia. I'm just so excited about all of those resources because they have been extremely helpful to my family. And then going through all of the different classes with my son, I realized that once I thought about it, when he was little, he was always suffering with mental challenges. I just didn't know what it looked like. I encourage all families to check out their neighborhood resources. Be Well Virginia has great resources that help you to identify these things early versus them, making it to their teens where things tend to escalate. And then especially once they're off to college and they have all of these extra stressor factors and things like that, you can find out ahead of time. But honey, never fear. It's never too late, okay? If you just now figuring it out, that's okay too, because I did and it worked for my family. And my son now is fully independent. Treatment plans work. Go to these ACEs classes, figure out what the resources are, take advantage of those tools, and I'm telling you, they will work for you. In the spring of 2019, the nonprofit that I worked for restructured, my position was eliminated, and I had a decision to make. Start all over, proving my worth, or know it. And I feel like getting to a point where I know myself, understand myself, when my first reaction was, no, you can't do that. No, that's my mother in the back of my head. I can do it. I will do it. And I did do it. October 1st, 2019, I launched Joyebells Sweet Potato Pies. And like I told you, that's that home of that southern country backwoods deliciousness, honey. So good. Yes, it's that good. Having the confidence to start a business with no money, no planning, I feel like it's just all part of my story of no matter what things look like or how they feel, keep moving. When I was homeless, eating out of the dumpsters, going to school every day, all I heard in the back of my head was, no matter what things look like, keep moving. There's something better for you. And I chose to believe it. I've had a chance to record some albums, went on Showtime at the Apollo, meet Steve Harvey, do the Today Show. And if I had not taken the time to learn myself, to learn why I work the way I do, the way my mind thinks the way it does, I don't think I would have had the confidence to do anything other than to go and find another place, which I call to rest or to hide, or joy, knowing what your purpose is supposed to be, which was not where I was. Get your honey parts up and go start the business, girl. Knowing yourself. These ACEs classes will help you do that. Knowing yourself or the loved ones around you that you're trying to motivate. If I can do it, anybody can do it. So I invite you to come on the journey, that self-knowledge journey. And ACEs is a great place to figure that out if you've had any type of childhood traumas in your life. So they work for my family and they can work for yours. I also want to say that it is super important to be able to identify adverse childhood experiences. I wanted to say that all out loud for all the people in the back who were thinking, what are ACEs? ACEs Workshop, guys. I didn't even begin to identify within myself that what I like to call residual behaviors. I don't think that's like a real medical term, so don't quote me on that. But I was in my late 30s when I figured out that I was still reacting in the same manners and behaviors as I did from what I had learned in my childhood experiences. When I went out and just said I was gonna go do some things for myself, I'm like, okay, why are you acting like something bad is getting ready to happen? Nothing bad is getting ready to happen. You're safe, you're well. But for like me, in the fall, I would become depressed. I would get sad, and I'm trying to figure out, why am I so sad? No one's done anything to me. Nothing's happened to me. And it took me a while to figure out my mother's illness was most pronounced in the fall. In the back of my mind, somewhere in my subconscious, I learned that the fall was an unsafe time of the year, that something was going to happen in the fall. These different workshops will help you identify why you do some of the things you do. I just felt the need to tell you that you're okay, you're safe, and you're going to do well. You're going to take these classes, you're going to identify what's going on, because treatment plans work, education work, resources and tools work. I'm telling you, go do it for yourself. Love yourself. Mwah. I want to tell everybody out there, now that I'm thinking about it, look, especially all my serial entrepreneurs, my serial dreamers, it is never too late to do whatever it is you want to do. You may have feel like you've done all of these things in your life, and you feel like you recorded this album. I'm just throwing it out there, but it didn't go big. You didn't become a music star. You started this business, but it didn't take off quite where you wanted to. I'm telling you, all of these things are like your trunks, and they're growing up. So all of these things that you've done, right, they're all up here like this, and you feel like they're just sitting there with nowhere to go, and you've wasted your time, but you have not. All of these things are preparing you, sitting there waiting for you to come back with your purpose, the thing that you're supposed to do, and then it's going to come over just like this and go boom. And when it does, you're going to be like, and everybody's going to say, oh my gosh, she just did that overnight. No, I did not. Yes, our business is 3 years old. Yes. But I've been doing all the other things that supports Joyebells for years. And then I'm telling you, and I was like, oh man, I recorded this album and it didn't do nothing. I did this and that and it didn't do anything. My personal memoir, I'm like, man, I wrote that. I must have wrote that for the flies on the wall, right? But now all of that's coming back. Those books go out to the boys and girls homes and into the middle schools and things like that. And then they read it so that if there's any other little Joyebells out there, they know that there is absolutely nothing you can't do. It don't matter where you come from or how you got to where you are today. We launched October 1st, 2019. By December, we were on the Today Show. Then we launched into Food Lion. This October, we'll be in all 1,066 stores. So excited about that. We are currently in Sam's Club nationwide. But we're going to have a major superstar endorsing Joyebells coming up this year. And we launch on QVC. I'm going to be up there. Hey, QVC family. For all y'all saying, oh, I don't know what's so special about you. Now, absolutely nothing. But I work hard. Relationships matter. You'll even learn about relationships. You probably feel like, oh, I don't want to be around other people. That's just not my thing, networking and hanging out with. I thought it wasn't my thing either until I figured out it wasn't nothing wrong with those people, that it was me, and that I was afraid to be open and to be seen, which I'm telling you comes right back to in my household with my mother, because if you were seen, you were more liable to get hit, struck, or verbally abused. If you were out of sight and out of mind, you had a most peaceful day for the most part. And that carried over into my life. But when I shut that down, I'm like, oh honey, no, kaboom! Joy just came in the room, okay? So don't be afraid. I'm telling you. Don't be afraid.